Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm sure you've heard of the Online Safety Act at this point, and the fact that there are a bunch of apps such as Discord and X and Reddit that require you to ID yourself before you're able to access some of the subreddits and, in this case, some of the Discord servers. So if you're in the UK, you're going to get something like this. And by the way, this could be rolling out to not just the UK, but more countries in the future, specifically in the Anglosphere, possibly in some states in the United States, some countries in the EU, Australia, and of course, in this case, the first country to adopt this fully is the UK, thanks to the Online Safety Act, which basically requires you to ID yourself when accessing these apps. And so in order to avoid the age verification, which again looks a little something like this, and you'll have to verify your age, and of course, you do that by taking a video selfie or scanning your ID. Now, I'm not in the UK, but I'm getting this notification because I'm simulating as if I'm in the UK. So the way it works is by connecting to a server in the location that you're after. And so in order to demonstrate how you could be blocked if you're in the UK, just wanted to simulate as if I'm there by connecting to the VPN. Now, in the same light, now that I've brought up the VPN, I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can avoid these age restrictions. So if I just quit Discord right now, and by the way, if you want to follow along, I'll link Express in the description down below, and I'll also link a couple of other VPNs. I'll talk about them a little bit later on. But let's just quit Discord. And now I'm simply going to change locations to, in this case, let's just go with Switzerland. I like connecting to Switzerland. They typically have lax laws over there, at least much more lax than the UK. And then now that I'm connected to the Swiss server, I'm just going to open Discord, and you'll see how I will no longer get age restricted on the channel that I was trying to access here. So now I can access the NSFW. Of course, I'm going to be blurring everything here. There's no need to promote any of this. I just joined this server to demonstrate how this works. Of course, this doesn't just apply to spicy servers. It also applies to a bunch of other servers that are considered not safe for work by Discord and by the UK government. So this is something that you just have to keep in mind. Now, by the way, one other solution is by scanning your ID. And if you don't want to use a VPN, you can try getting a game screenshot. Now, some people are doing this through Death Stranding because it has a mode where you can kind of like take a selfie. But if that doesn't work, or if you just want to use a generally more foolproof method, then you can just go with a VPN. And the reason is, if I go to what is my IP here, you'll see that it thinks that I'm in Switzerland. So this is how I'm able to access whatever it is that I want, regardless of my location. So if you're in the UK, you can connect to any other location that you'd like to connect to, depending on the service that you're after. So for example, if I want to access the Swiss library or the Italian library or the whatever other library that I'm trying to access, this is how it works with VPNs. So as you can tell, it says here top 10 TV shows in Switzerland today. So this works basically if you're looking for a movie and you know that it's on Netflix, but it's not showing up. Like it's showing up in the recommendation or the white text. For example, if I look up Friends here, it shows up here, but it doesn't really show in Netflix itself. So just look up the region where your show or movie that you're looking for is available and connect to the country on the VPN, and then just go back to Netflix, give it a refresh, and you're good to go. It works on your streaming stick, it works on your mobile phone, your tablet, your browser, also your PC, your Mac. So this is one way to use the VPN as well. So this is what I would recommend personally if you're trying to avoid the UK Online Safety Act and you don't want to be identified. Of course, nobody wants to be ID'd in such a way when they're on Discord, because that is just a recipe for disaster. I think most people recognize that. And the government is using it as an excuse to ID everybody. And you know, if Discord ever goes through a data leak, it'll be much, much worse than any other data leak. And same thing for all the other apps that are now collecting IDs. And I really don't recommend anybody just handing out their ID like that just to be able to use Discord or any other application. It's much better if you just used a VPN. And I'm not just fear-mongering, because in March 2023, there was a Discord leak, and it can happen again, except that this time it might be much, much worse, thanks to the age verification that they've started applying in the UK. And as this grows in other countries, hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, using a VPN is just going to be the thing that makes sense the most, really, instead of having to find other workarounds like taking AI selfies and whatnot. Okay, so that'll be it for this video. If you're interested in checking out Express, or another option would be NordVPN, there's also Proton VPN. Proton VPN is such a good option if you're looking for a free option, but unfortunately it doesn't have the fastest speeds, because the faster speeds are actually reserved for paying customers. But as a free option, it's hands down the best. It won't sell your data. And it's very secure. Again, I mean, if you're not familiar with Proton, they're basically the same developers that made Proton Mail. So it's a very well-known and good service. But again, the free servers will be a little bit limited as far as speed, unless you get a paid subscription. Then you'll get access to the premium servers with Proton. Either way, I'll link everything in the description down below if you guys are interested. And I'll also be sure to link any discounts I can find. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.